getting in the total. Let me see if I get in there. All my see, Matthew McConaughey is He-Man. I figured I'd wear my 90s hat because this is taking a flashback to 12/18/98. All right, all right, all right. And I was in about the same size, but in better shape. So this video will be rated R, a lot of cursing. You know, it won't be too, I mean, I'm not going to show like disgusting pictures or whatever like that, you know what I mean, the car accident. But please watch the whole thing. Just because it's kind of interesting in the sense that it's not just a accident. You know, there's a lot more to it, and I hope you enjoy it. So next we'll show me driving through the accident, and then we'll get to me back talking. So see ya in a few minutes. Okay, we are passing Trinity Prep. I don't know if this is considered Orlando or Winter Park or whatever, but anyway, so we will reenact on what happened 12/18/98. And this is, I actually did the same route as I did the morning of. I was supposed to do this exact same time. I didn't. We were at 1:23. And I was on this road, 11, 12 o'clock, and I just left my buddy's Carl's warehouse, exactly like I did on that day. Now, traffic is super, super light, and there was no, you can see it, turning lane over there. I mean, another third lane. So I was here, and I was the only person on the road, where now you can see, and you can see the traffic is light for Florida, but it's hectic. These two turning lanes were not here. The third lane, so this was just two lanes. So I was coming up here doing 43. I was doing about the same, and honestly the car to the right of me that I just passed, and there was nobody in front of me, and I'm just cruising, and all of a sudden right here, boom, a car decides to come out right there, and boom, I hit him, and he went over into that corner over there. Now, oh, this was not here. So, fortunately, at that, well, I'm gonna make a U-turn, at that stop, at that red light, was two of my buddies that were off-duty paramedics. And actually at the stop sign, coming off the 408 or whatever it was, oh, this is actually perfect. So right where that truck is, or you know, one of these trucks in front of us, there was a sorry, I'm trying to see if you can see this. There was actually two paramedics off duty, or I don't know if they were in the paramedic, you know, in the ambulance. This lane was not here. So this was actually how it was. They had a red light. I'm trying to, hopefully this is coming up in the thing. So anyway, and actually right where that car is, there was actually a state trooper watching the whole thing. So this was red, and this guy decides to just go up the exit ramp right there, which I don't know if it was double. I think it was only single lane back there. So we're gonna come over, So when I hit him, I was very fortunate in the sense that, wow, I almost got in an accident again. Somebody almost hit me. That I am gonna scoot down like I'm in my lowrider. I hit him between the pillars of his Cadillac, which was absolutely perfect. Well, killed him instantly. They said even a fly wouldn't have survived, but it helped it just for the Jeep to absorb it, so the Jeep didn't turn this way or roll over or do something you know, stupid of sorts. So, but again, I was doing right under 45, and I didn't realize, I know I passed the car, but I didn't know how close she was. So basically when I got home, sorry, the AC is probably high, so hopefully it's not killing the volume. So when I got home, I got a call from the girl next to me, my parents, and she said, you know, it's, you know, obviously totally sucks what happened to your son, but and I never say and I'm saying it all the time now. At least I realize I'm doing it. That we could have hit that. I think they're like in a Honda Accord. Remember, this is 1997, so cars were completely different. But I had my kid or kids in the back seat, and yeah, we would have had a car seat on. You know, they're in the car seat, whatever. But we would have hit it, and who knows what would have happened. So it totally sucks what happened to your son. But it probably could have saved my daughter's or whatever my kid's life. But again, there was absolutely no way, even today's cars, self-driving, I don't care, automatic braking, there was absolutely no way anybody could have stopped, even in a 2020 car, unless maybe you had like a Formula One car, you know what I mean, street legal. There was absolutely no way you could have stopped in time, unlike my father said that he could have, which, whatever. So again, that's what happened. So we're gonna stop the video now, and then I'll continue onward with the messed up part of the whole video. GoPro, stop recording. Trying to prepare for this. Hopefully I'm trying not to cry during this, because I've done this a few times weeks ago and I keep crying. So, dudes and dudettes, we are back. So, basically, you know, I hit him. All of a sudden, I just remember standing in front of the Jeep, looking at the front, and I could hardly see. So I don't know, I took one of my hands and wiped it, and there's just blood everywhere, all over the front of the Jeep. My hand is just red. I looked down, I had a white Raider shirt on, and it was a sheet of blood. Now to skip ahead, I just blacked out. So I guess one of my paramedic friends just grabbed me, or a stranger grabbed me and set me down on the ground up against the Jeep until the ambulance got there. By that time the ambulance was almost there. But I remember waking up in the ambulance going, you know, looking up. I said, I guess I'm not dead. They're like, nope. Boom. Out. Which ended up being a few hours. It's getting emotional. So I wake up in the ER room, I think it was like 3.5 hours later. And I see, you know, the lights. I'm like, oh fuck. You know, the famous seeing the lights, and I can see this guy, and he's like, it's okay. I'm like, okay, I'm alive. He goes, you're alive, you're fine, you're in the hospital, we're just stitching you up. Boom, out. So next, wake up, I don't know, an hour or two later, and I look over, and there's a state trooper there. I'm like, oh fuck, but I didn't do anything wrong that I knew of. So what I found out is, I don't know if I told you in the other video, but there's a state trooper actually at the exit ramp where the guy who I consider was trying to commit suicide to go up to, old Pappy here, who actually was the founder of Medevac. So so that's why there's more to it. I think he committed suicide. The kids just said he was on, forgot to take his medication, or took the wrong medication. I don't know. And he was a doctor. There's just more to it. But anyway. So he goes, I had to see if you were alive. Because now you got to remember, this is 1998. You know, it's not like nowadays where we have everyone has cameras taking pictures of it. So I think he probably had a camera in the car, but you know, developing takes time and everything. So he goes, I just had to see if you're alive, because he goes, there's no way somebody should have survived that accident. I'm like, really? He goes, oh, you'll see when you go get, you know, go look at it. He goes, you'll see if you want to, but he goes, you shouldn't be alive. There's no reason you should be alive. He goes, I just had to see for myself. You know, he shook my hand, you know, and that was it. And then trying to keep it in. Trying to think of happy thoughts I don't cry on national TV or whatever you want to call it. So yeah. The doctor comes in and goes,
you know, we've done x-rays or scans, CAT scans, MRIs. You're gonna die. I'm thinking, oh fuck, what? You're gonna die. He goes, you're gonna just bleed out. He goes, we can't find anything. But from what the cops and the paramedics and everybody said about the accident, trust me, I was crying way worse than the other videos, so I'm doing much better. You shouldn't be alive. Because what happened was, I wasn't wearing my seatbelt, so whatever. But what happened is, and I can't find the picture, is my head, my forehead went into the windshield frame. And if anybody knows about an old 85 CJ7 Jeep, it's like a hollow piece of steel that's super thick. Well, I put an indentation in it. Now, that's like someone like me or a professional baseball player taking a baseball bat to your head. What the fuck do you think's gonna happen? Boom! Not only that, but the steering wheel was like all busted because it went into my gut. But since I was a retired racer, when I got in an accident, I lifted up my knees like that, so my knees ate the dash, and I bent down and flexed, and I did this to protect myself. But there was bruising and all that there. He goes, he goes, there has to be internal damage, but we can't find anything. So he goes, as soon as you get home, monitor it, and any type of bleeding. It could be just a few minutes before you bleed out. So you have any type of bleeding, you feel any discomfort, get to a hospital, come back here as soon as possible, the closest hospital to where you are, to do it, because as I saw the pictures, and I can't find the one picture, but the indentation there, the steering wheel, and I mean my knees ate the dash and all that stuff. But luckily I did that, because if I would have just been a normal person, I mean obviously if I wore my seatbelt, it would have been a completely different story. But who knows what would have happened. But anyway, in this situation, I probably would have been much better off. But if I wouldn't have, crunched up, yeah, much more internal bleeding, because you're going from almost 50 to 0, and you're eating that steering wheel, and then all the momentum, yeah. So I get home, and I'm trying to figure out how to say this correctly. So I get home, and I had a man say, well, you deserve it because you drive like a fucking asshole. It's a really fucked up thing to say. Then another girl that's close to me said basically the same thing. Now the girl never driven with me in my life. The guy, maybe a handful of times. And it didn't matter, because if you knew who they were, they're close to me, friendish, whatever. Totally fucked up thing to say, obviously. I mean, you don't say it if you hate someone or whatever. So, I mean, those people are pretty well dead to me now anyway, but I mean, I still, if I see them in passing or whatever, we'll just leave it at that. I'm my nice guy that I am, I'm nice to him or whatever. So, but I'm sitting there at home, and so before I did that, we got a phone call that a girl in a early 90s Honda Accord with her 2 kids was driving next to me, and she's like, it totally sucks what happened to your son, but it probably saved my lives and or my kids' lives, because when she was behind me, she saw the brake lights and stopped enough and was able to get away from the thing. So I was like, oh fuck. So made me feel good. I saved them from the accident, because of course if he would have been a little bit quicker, or what I mean, I would have went around him, that girl would have hit him. I mean, it's always an accident, so there's different scenarios. The family, got a hold of the family of the guy, the blah 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 blah. So I'm sitting there going, it's really fucked up. I'm not even 25 years old, and I'm gonna die. Because the doctor says you're not bleeding. I have to have head damage, trauma. I mean, I was unconscious, but my head should have exploded. should have never been alive. Everybody's saying it should have just your head should have exploded. You shouldn't be alive. So now I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna fucking die. Oh fuck. I mean, so I'm looking at the two different scenarios. I've had a great life, and to jump the shark a little bit, my lawyer goes to me, you know, we're gonna have a really hard time winning anything. We kind of want to settle out. We don't want to go get a jury. I'm like, what do you mean? And he goes, well, look at you, dude. He goes, no jury's gonna feel sorry for you. I said, what? He goes, well, yeah, you know, I just had, the only thing that really came out of it was, you know, back damage, because obviously I'm alive, which I still have. We can't prove it, and the x-rays won't prove much. And he goes, look at you. I'm like, what? He goes, you're what every guy wants to be. You're 6 foot, at that time, you know, flowing blonde hair, blue eyes, great build, great personality. You're beautiful. He goes, what the fuck, dude? I want to look like you. So he goes, we're going to have to make you look like a homeless person. You know, even even when we start doing the mediation or whatever. And it's true. We had to go to we went to like a Salvation Army. We got this old thing, and it looks stupid because it's too small and you know, big, and you know, I think at the time it was like 220, 230 or what. It just looked stupid on me. But anyway, I'm thinking it's one of the things. I'm like, okay, so I've had a great life, you know, but it's also like, you know, usually the people that have a shitty life, that are like, you know, maybe like child molesters and those fucking sickos, and maybe, you know, other bad people. They don't have a good life, but you know, they usually live long, or people that smoke, you know, or do drugs, and usually live. I mean, you know, we all know that person. I know someone who's a real piece of shit, and is like, he should be dead and whatever. But anyway, but I've had a great life. Grew up, childhood was okay. So family life, I was just verbal abuse from like my dad and my older sister, but no physical abuse, no sexual abuse. Nothing like that. Nothing like, so it was way better than like the average American, because I know a lot of kids in my school that had it really bad. You know, dad was just beating the shit out of them for nothing, beating the shit out of the mom for nothing, and all that stuff. So sexual abuse, I mean, Jesus Christ, I mean, what, half the kids in this country or world are abused, sexually abused. So school was awesome, and I'm going to do something about that. My school, almost no bullying. We had 1 or 2 assholes, which they're on Facebook and they're still fucking assholes. So I'm trying to tell my son, assholes are always assholes. But I had 3-wheelers, grew up in Pennsylvania, Dutch country. Seriously, my childhood, that part, the school was awesome. You know, 3-wheeling, skiing, everything about my childhood was a dream. I would love to have my son live in my childhood, and my daughter live in my childhood over again. So I'm thinking, okay, so I had a great life. Yeah, I moved, my parents forced me to move. My dad forced me to move to Florida my senior year of high school, which sucked. And Florida's a shithole, so, but for the most part, I still had a good life in Florida. I was still having a lot of fun, a lot of clubbing, because that's when clubbing was good. So I'm just trying to go like, okay, so I'm going to die, but I've had a great fucking life. Okay? So, you know, we went and picked up the Jeep and, you know, saw the accidents, and that's how I saw how bad it really was. I was like, oh shit, I shouldn't have lived. But I did, and sorry, I'm just trying to wrap everything around. So it was a bad day. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, my daughter, I thought my daughter was starting to move around in bed because she's napping. So, okay, I had to go check on her. So, you know, and the jump ship about this now, it's like what I say is like, oh, everyone's like freaking out about this stupid COVID, which I think's a complete joke for the most part. But especially in a place like Florida, any second, you know, you're gonna die, you know, with a stupid car accident, or someone to shoot you or beat you up or whatever, because Florida's the worst. But anywhere really in the United States just shows you that, you know, yeah, you get the COVID, you know, you have a few days to fight it, nothing's probably gonna happen to you, whatever. But something like a car accident, boom, I had 1, 2, like not even like 3 seconds, and my life was for the most part over. And I'm assuming I would have woken up, or if you believe in afterlife, or you get reincarnated, or you just go 6 feet under and that's it. Whatever you believe in, I believe in my own theories, but for the most part, let's just say that's it. And that's it. And I was only 25 years old. So, you know, moral of the story is live your life to the fullest. You want to, do something stupid, do something stupid, and what, I mean, there's a point, right? But, live your life. You want to eat junk food like I do, eat junk food. Or you want to do something else stupid, do stupid. I don't know. I was watching a skydiving video. I'm not into it. Not me. But you want to do it. I don't know. Race. Just enjoy life. Because obviously it all depends on what you believe in. If, for the most part, you never know when it's going to end. So I hope that was interesting. And that's it.